Vasishta continued, "The truth, which is omnipresent and which is pure consciousness, devoid of objectivity, is referred to variously as consciousness, self, Brahman, existence, truth, order, and also as pure knowledge." It's devoid of objectivity in the sense that it's free from objects, free from notions of objects, free from the tendency to create notions of objects. It is pure, and in its light all beings know their own self. I am the Brahman, which is pure consciousness, after its own appearance as the mind, the intellect, the senses, and all other such notions have been negated. Normally we identify with notions of our mind, intellect, the senses, our own personality, our name, culture, whatever. But once you've negated the tendency to firmly believe in these notions, then you've got the opportunity to realize your nature, your essential nature as Brahman, pure consciousness. I am imperishable consciousness, or Brahman, in whose light alone all the elements and the entire universe shine. Everything happens in consciousness, or awareness. Consciousness is the same as awareness. If there's no awareness, how can we say anything is happening? It's only by virtue of awareness that we can say that anything is happening. We can hypothesize that things are happening without awareness, but that's only a hypothesis which comes about through awareness. So the whole universe shines by virtue of awareness, by virtue of consciousness. I am the consciousness of Brahman, sparks from whom arise continually, radiating reflected consciousness throughout the universe. My awareness, or the awareness within which notions of my personal identity arise, is not different from your awareness. In a way, we can take the notion of reincarnation to its logical conclusion. My incarnations are not a particular succession of one birth after the other. My incarnation is in you, and in your relatives, and in your friends, and in my relatives, and my friends, and in all the strangers that I don't know. These are my incarnations. You can say the same, of course, in the sense of my as applying to Brahman. In fact, the whole universe is an incarnation of Brahman. Even when seen by a pure mind, it is expressed in silence. The silence is a great way of appreciating the nature of Brahman. It's silence which allows sound to happen, just as space allows objects to happen. In the same way as we have space and silence, we have awareness which allows everything to happen. So contemplating space and silence are a good way of getting a feel for awareness. They reflect awareness very directly, because awareness is essentially silence. Though it appears to be in contact with the ceaseless experiences of the ego sense of countless beings who thus derive the delight that is of Brahman, yet it is beyond the reach of these and untouched by them. For though it is truly the ultimate source of all happiness and delight, It is of the nature of deep sleep, devoid of diversity, peaceful and pure. And this is a metaphor, the deep sleep metaphor. Deep sleep means not being disturbed by dreams. So this is a metaphor of awareness. We're not disturbed by notions which are of the same nature as dreams, notions of world, of self, identity and all the rest of it, notions of pleasure and pain. In subject-object relationship and the consequent experience of pleasure, the bliss of Brahman is infinitesimally experienced. Infinitesimally experienced. It's extremely subtle. This talk of bliss can be a bit misleading. It depends what your preconceptions of bliss are. We tend to think of bliss as some rather gross, bright, joyous state. But it's actually infinitesimal. It has to be looked for, looked very, very deeply for. We're often told that bliss is the nature of consciousness, and yet that's not our experience. If you would think that if we had this sun of bliss shining at the heart of our beings, we'd be the first to know about it. But we don't. We generally feel there's some pretty awful stuff deep down within us that we spend a lot of time, most of our lives, running away from. So this is why we have to look. This is why we have to inquire. We have to look beyond all that negativity. And this bliss is infinitesimally experienced because it's extremely subtle. And it's also there in every atom at the heart of our being, deep down. It's extremely subtle and exquisite. I am the eternal Brahman, free from the wrong notions of pleasure and pain, etc., and therefore pure. So here, pleasure and pain are notions. So we're not talking about sensations here. Sensations happen, but we're talking about our notions of pleasure and pain. I am the consciousness in which there is true and pure experiencing. I am that pure consciousness in which the pure intelligence functions without thought interference. I am that Brahman, which is the intelligent energy that functions in all the elements, earth, water, fire, etc. I am the pure consciousness which manifests as the characteristic taste, etc. of the different fruits. We're not actually aware of things, we're only aware of the characteristic of things. And here the example of fruits is given. Fruits have got particular characteristics, and it's these characteristics we're aware of, whether it's shape, colour, taste. And from these characteristics we create the notions of particular fruits. But these characteristics are part of the stream of experiencing, part of pure consciousness, which is pure experiencing.